Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. So let's finish up with the edit and delete of this part right here. Okay, so also I noticed that if I click on new category and then click cancel, I'm taken to the courses page. So there's a few links that are not well set there yet. So let's fix that, and then we can copy this same add new category. We can copy it to the edit category and of course to the delete, because edit and delete are quite similar since they both read from the original content, unlike add, which just adds a new item without reading from the previous information. All right, so let's go there now. We go to a view, admin view, and then we go to categories here. And then I want to look for any instances of courses. Let me look for the cancel button right here. This one is courses instead. So let me try and find all instances of this, Control D, and just change that to categories, right? Categories, like that. Okay, pretty good. Like so. Right, so now if I click add and then cancel, I'm back here, which is awesome. And then now we need to go to the edit section. So let me click on this one. I want to edit this one so that maybe it can add a slug, but let's see here, another, I'm not sure about slugs. You know, slugs are very sensitive issue, because let's say you edit a slug after a while, and then because you change something here, and then that's going to edit the slug as well, which means the link to that category now has changed, because the slug is really the link to it. So it's a good idea to avoid editing slugs if at all. So I think we'll test this for the delete. Let's try this for the edit. So I'm going to click edit here, and this is what I get. Right, so let's fix the issues we are seeing right now. So first of all, it's saying item not found, but I'm sure the item should be there. So what we want to do is copy what's on the add section here. And I want to copy the form itself from here. So the entire form I will copy. Okay, and copy that. Let's go to our edit section, which is right here. And there's this part with if statement. So there's a save and there's a back button. These are a little different. So what I would do is grab this whole part here. As long as it says edit category here, we are fine. And I want to grab everything up to the else statement here and copy and paste like that. Okay, great. So this should do the trick. So let's go back and see what we've got. So of course it will say not found still. So let's get back here and fix that problem. Now that should be a problem for the controller. So let's go to the category controller here. So category, and this is the one we have here. Now ideally what we need to do is, the reason we have a class like this is because we can put many functions down here. So it would be better if we add a different function for the edit and the delete parts of things. So maybe let's try and do that. But we can reference the same file there, which is fine. So let me just duplicate this like so. Now this is entirely up to you. If you want, you can just put if statements within this function and it will still work just fine. But I think for better organization, it's better if we do this. So I'm just going to say this one is for the edit, and then we'll have another one for the delete. But for now, let's keep it at here. We don't even need the new course because we're not really using courses at all. Let's see, read all courses. This is completely irrelevant to the course. So maybe let's try and wait a minute. Category. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong place. I went on and on about the wrong place. Okay, I'm getting confused. Admin always goes to the admin section. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. So we have a categories function, and yep, I guess we have if statements. So we have the add, we have, so let's just copy what's on the add section here. I'm going to copy what's here, copy, and this is what we're going to do when it comes to the delete. Course deleted successfully. No, let's deal with the edit first, and we won't need any of these in here. So what I'll do is let me paste right there like this. Okay, so let me put the and row. That's important, so that we only do things when there's an actual row that was retrieved. And then let's see what we can copy from down here, which I think is necessary, and it doesn't look like there's anything really that we need because we're not uploading images or anything like that. So most of this just needs to be deleted. So from here, let's delete all of this. Just leave what we've pasted here. All right. But it's important to read the data. Now we are reading from courses instead, so this is where the problem is. We should be reading from categories. So categories is right here, and category find all ascending order. So we are doing that, but let's use category class to read from this. And what we want to look for is the ID, because in our URL we have an ID there. So there's edit and there's 16. So let's find that ID. Now somebody mentioned that IDs, we should avoid using primary keys here, but this is going to be the admin section, so not really a big deal. IDs may be a problem if they're on the front end and you're reading courses using IDs, because somebody can easily just check to see if they can get a lot of information using IDs. For example, if there's a profile named profile/16, then they'll know there's at least 16 users in that table. So they'll just keep trying and put a larger and larger number here and see until they keep finding records, etc., etc. But this is the admin section, so that doesn't matter, because every user will only have access to their own courses, so it doesn't matter if they see the ID of that course. That's not really a big deal. Also, anything sensitive will just be edited by the admin. If somebody gets access to that, then you have bigger problems to worry about than IDs. So using IDs on the admin section is just okay. So we'll continue with that. So category here, and let's use ID. So the ID we're going to get will be from here, okay? Action, then ID. So let's grab, oh, so we already have that ID part, so let's just delete this other part. So we just have the ID. So category, we grab that row, and instead of course, this should be category. So most of these things are pretty useless, like the languages, the levels, the prices, the currencies. Even this one here, we don't need any of that. So let's remove all that. So what else? So at this point, at least we are reading from this, so that should be good enough. Let's see what happens when we refresh. Okay, there we go. This is the category. Now, if these were courses that we're editing, we may need to check if the ID is correct to know that a user is allowed to edit that particular thing. Now, also, if you notice here, we have this dashboard that is mixed with admin things and then user stuff, because courses are created by instructors, but this other stuff like dashboard should only be seen by the admin themselves and not. So currently everything is mixed here, but don't worry, we're going to separate this eventually. So I'm going to show you the technique I use to separate these things to make sure that no matter how complex a website gets, you still know who's accessing what exactly. So no worries there. We're going to get that just after this edit category stuff. Okay, so here we are, we have this, and we need to get previous data because right now these are empty and we need to see what the previous data was, which is pretty easy. So let's try the console, it works just fine. Let's click that. And what we will do to have that information is, because now we have a row, so we are good. If I go to categories here, we can just add the row over here on the set value, comma, and then just put a row and then just say category like so. And that's it really. So I'll just copy this part so I can put it, this is okay. The only other place I need to add this is on the, since there are only two inputs, so I need to add this on here. So I'll paste like that. And instead of set value, it's going to be set select. So I'll select these guys and change that because we have a different function to handle this. So set select works like, let's see, it's not category, it's supposed to be disabled like that, and then we need to give it the initial value, which in this case 1 is 0, 1 is 1. So this one with 0 and the other one has 1 like that, and then we get disabled like this. This should solve the problem. So if I now refresh, active yes. So let's cancel that. Unfortunately, everything is active yes, so we can't really know if things are working, but at least we know we are getting the right data when it comes to the category name itself. Okay, so that's good. So once we are done here, when we click save, we should get the same issues of validation, etc, etc. So let's come back to the same admin section, and then there's the validate here. Now in our models, let's say the category model, right? There's a validate function here. Now there are times when validating for editing and validating for adding data is different because there are certain things that are required in adding that are not required when editing. So you can just duplicate these functions and create a second one which you're going to use when you are editing. But in this case, everything matches up just fine, so we are good in this case. So that one function will work. Now we don't need to create a new slug because, like I said, slugs should not change ever. They're like IDs unless you just delete that particular thing. And then category insert. Now instead of insert, we have to update, of course. And of course, when updating, we need our ID from the row that we are editing, and your category is successfully edited. Maybe that would be better. Like that. Okay, and then we go back to where we came from. Otherwise, we get some errors there. Okay, so let's see if I try to empty this and see if I'm going to get some error. And there we go, the category is required. Okay, but it gave me back the same item. But why? Wait a minute. Row category, save. You know, this was supposed to save, right? So name, category, errors, blah, blah, blah. Because it's empty, I guess. Maybe that's why. Okay, so let's try if I have, let's see, a minute here. Does this accept numbers? It does not. So let's see. If I click edit and put 2 there and save. Okay, so there we go. All right, so things are working as intended. So let me cancel that. Let's just try to see if it will save. Let's put double Y and put no here just to mess with it. Okay, so your category was successfully edited, but it doesn't look like it was, so that's not good. Let's refresh, and things did not change. The only thing is the slug went missing. Okay, so not cool. Oh, wait a minute, it didn't go missing. The whole record went missing, right? Huh, that was not good at all. What just happened? Let me go to my, I think the category was called, what was it called? Another category. Oh, so it did work. The editing worked, but it's not being seen because I think when reading, we're reading to say, let's see, ID is equal to ID. Let's go to where we are reading every, oh, I see. So this was wrong to do this here. It shouldn't matter if a category is disabled, we should still be able to see it. So instead of this where clause, let's just use query because we just want to grab all. Or we can just say find all, I guess. Let's use that. Find all like this, and let's remove that. Since we have the find all function. Okay, so there we go. That actually worked. So the editing worked. It's not active anymore. Now if I click, you see it comes back as not active. We do that, and let's put yes and save. There we go. Very good. Now let's delete. I want us to delete this one. So if I click on delete, let me come back here. This should be easier to do. So I'm just going to grab everything that's here, copy in the edit section. Let's look for the delete section. So let's replace everything as well and paste. Okay, so everything is the same except we want to delete this one, and we don't need to supply the post data. Just the ID is enough. And yep. We don't need to validate a delete either. We can just delete. There won't likely be any errors because we are not validating, so let's remove that. But you never know, you may want to create errors just so you can say something. Maybe there's a category that should never be deleted. You might want to show that error, so you can just put that error in here as well and then display it. So we'll leave it for now, but otherwise this is all we needed. Oh, wait a minute, not really, not quite. We go back to the category view. Let's grab everything in the edit section here. So I'm just going to grab all of this, the form especially, and let me go to the delete part, which is right here. So right inside the row, inside where there's a form, I'll leave the are you sure you want to delete this? Instead of course, we should just have put record, but no matter. This is okay. Let's move things around. All right. So instead of course, maybe let's put record so that next time we copy this, we don't have to worry about changing that. Okay, so with this in mind, this should work just fine. So I'm going to refresh, and there we go. Now instead of save, we need delete, and these should not be editable really. We don't need to know whether it's disabled or not, but who knows, maybe you might want to know that. But cancel should work as well. So let's try delete. And let's come back here and finish a few things. So instead of save, we'll say delete. And then let's change that to danger instead of primary. Where is that? Right here. So that it looks red, the delete button. And then let's change these guys. So instead of an input here, what I want is a div, because we just want to display the information, that's all. So we'll use still the set value. I'll copy that and put it right in the middle of the divs like that. And then I'll grab the classes. I don't need the name, I just need this class right here, the form control. I'll copy that and put it here and close that. Yeah, remove that like this. And then I can remove the input itself like that. So what I get is this. Looks pretty similar, but it's a div this time, so I can't edit anything. And same goes for the, let me grab this, copy that. We might not need the error thingy, but just leave it there just in case you want to throw in an error there. But with this one, let's paste that. And we're just going to change where it's getting the information from either it's disabled, right? Then we can remove the rest of this like this. Now disabled is not really a value. It's just 1 or 0 or 1. So it will look very strange if we just have 0 or 1. So maybe what we can do is we can do what we did on the front end, put a question mark there, or one question mark, and say no, and then put yes over here like that. Alrighty then. So let's refresh, and there we go. So maybe you don't need that. You can say active, I think, like so. So active, yes. Let's cancel that. Let's look at that. Yes. Let's see one. We don't have one where there's active, no. So that's the edit. That's fine. And then the delete. There we go. So now let's delete. Delete. Your category is successfully deleted. And as you can see, it's gone. Okay, so great. We are able to edit, add, and delete our categories, which is nice. Now that we have all this set up just right, let me see down here, do we have pagination before we move forward? Where is that? I'm trying to look. We don't actually have pagination yet. Okay, we will add pagination, no problem. Now everything down here in the script tag is now useless because we don't really do any Ajax requests. So we don't even changing tabs. We're not changing anything here. So everything that's down here should be deleted. So let's go down to where the script tag is ending, and let's go up here. Make sure all the JavaScript is taken and out. That's much cleaner. And let's refresh. Make sure things are still working as intended. Let's try to save. Okay. Cool category. Let's try that and let's save. Okay, so that worked just fine. Delete works just fine. And then if we go to our home page, let's go to our home page right here. Come on. Okay, if we drop down here, you can see that all the new categories that we added are right here, right up to cool category down here. So everything is working as intended. All right. So let's go to the next video where we start setting up restrictions on who should see what over here. I'll see you in the next video.